Delegates like that between 20 and 25 who did live in Syria.
We've built this bombed classroom as a symbol of a whole generation of Syrian children who don't have access to education. So after 7 years of conflict, almost 3 million children, 1 out of 3 inside Syria but also in the neighbouring countries, don't have access to education.
And then the specifics about the video.
Inside Syria, it has to do with the violence and the lack of protection. Schools have been bombarded, they've been used as military targets. Also, often schools are used by families as temporary shelter. There's also the question of displacement. I mean, a lot of Syrian children have been displaced several times, so it's not easy for the families to settle down and then have access to school. And parents are really concerned to send their children to school because they might just get killed. The European Union is co-hosting the Syria-Brussels conference together with the UN, and we want the EU to play a particular leadership when it comes to supporting education. The EU is an important donor. They are funding a lot of education programs, but we want to do a bit more, and particularly to work more on the quality of the education and to make sure that every last Syrian children inside Syria and in the region can have access to education.
Today we are hoping that world leaders come together to put a higher emphasis not just on education but quality education, to believe and to take a stand for every child's right for proper education, to make sure that there's a peaceful end to the crisis in Syria, and this would mean that every child would be protected. The first step should be really making a safe area out of all the civilian locations. Make sure that all schools, hospitals and civilian areas are being protected and that they're not being targeted. And this would at least guarantee that children in Syria are able to go to schools.